We are going to kick things off right away with Colin Rugg, former staffer of Eric Swalwell, says that he sexually assaulted her twice, says she woke up in his bed with no clothes on. The first incident reportedly took place in 2019. Eric Swalwell has been married since 2016. The woman says she was hired at the age of 21 as one of Eric Swalwell's staffers. At one point in 2019, Swalwell pulled out his pee and asked her to perform oral you-know-what on him. He did so, or she did so, in a parking lot, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. Later that same year, the former staffer says she was invited out for drinks with Swalwell. She says she became so intoxicated that she does not remember the rest of the night. She claims that she woke up with no clothes on in Swalwell's hotel bed and claims she could feel the effect of you-know-what intercourse, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. In April of 2024, the woman, who did not work for Swalwell at this time, attended a charity gala where Swalwell was present. The woman says she became inebriated while getting drinks with him after and can barely remember the night. She says she told him no, as he forced himself on her. Again, this is Eric Swalwell we're talking about. The woman says she was assaulted by Swalwell. She says she blacked out, but woke up once during it and even told him to stop at one point. Obviously, he didn't, or at least according to her, he didn't. The woman's friend and then boyfriend said she told them about the alleged assault the next day. Swalwell has denied the accusations and has since sent a cease and desist letter. We all know how he loves sending out those cease and desist letters, because we know Swalwell did that to the FBI because Kash Patel was about to release the Fang files on Eric Swalwell. And of course, he immediately responded with cease and desist letters to the FBI. It seems like they might have actually worked, at least for the present time, because I haven't seen those files released yet. But anyway, let's get back to this. The representative previously said in 2018 that alleged victims deserve to be heard. Eric Swalwell said that. So let's hear him say that victims deserve to be heard on MSNBC.
What was important to you about anything that you heard tonight from President Trump, speaking out at length, from Mr. Avenatti, who I believe you just were able to hear, and new reports that there are new allegations being probed by the Senate regarding Judge Kavanaugh?
Good evening, Ari. I saw continued demeaning of victims of sexual assault, people who deserve to be heard, who deserve for their allegations to be investigated, and a president who wants to just rush this through. He criticized the Senate for even taking this long, Ari. And so for Brett Kavanaugh's sake, if he is innocent, I hope tomorrow he opens his statement and says, you know what? Bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent.
Wow.
And if he's not, for the sake of the credibility of the court, I hope that the senators would vote against him.
Yeah. Well, we all know that you believe in guilty until proven innocent, of course, unless it affects him personally. So we've got a lot to get into with regard to Eric Swalwell. A lot of stuff came out today because of the San Francisco Chronicle article, which we'll also get to. But first, we're going to check out some of these highlights that dropped on the X platform today. Another one from Colin Rugg just in. Senators Adam Schiff and Ruben Gallego have both withdrawn their endorsements of Eric Swalwell after an assault allegation came out against the California gubernatorial candidate. You know what? I'm not going to watch my words tonight. It's sexual assault. That's what it is. I mean, come on, man. I'm not going to be playing those games tonight. What is described is indefensible. A woman who come forward with accounts like this deserve to be heard with respect, not questioned or dismissed, Gallego said. Quote, I am equally as shocked and upset about what has transpired. I am withdrawing my endorsement of Congressman Swalwell effective immediately. Schiff, Adam Schiff, also withdrew his endorsement. Quote, I have read the San Francisco Chronicle's account and I am deeply distressed by its allegations. This woman was brave to come forward and we should take her story seriously. Adam Schiff said, I am withdrawing my endorsement immediately and believe that he should withdraw from the race. Again, guilty until proven innocent. That's the Democrats. Look, I'm not saying that Eric Swalwell didn't do this. I have every bit of confidence, just my own personal opinion, that he absolutely did this, 100%, just in my opinion, of course. I'm just saying that, that's just the going rate of the Democrats. Guilty till proven innocent. So let's have a look at this and see where this goes.
Another constituent?
Yeah, this is a constituent. Would you like to talk to the congressman? Yes. Here he is.
This is Eric. I'm going to go sign it right now and reverse these tariffs.
Oh my God, he's fucking cringe. Good God. All right. So yeah, that apparently happened at some point in the past. Let's see. Okay, so we already went through that one. Breaking number one, Eric Swalwell's odds to win California governor collapses on Polymarket from frontrunner, which is right about 60%, going all the way down to just 14%. I'm sure it's going to crash even further than that, probably, as sexual misconduct allegations with ex-staffers surface. Tom Steyer surges to 51% favorite. The campaign denies claims as false rumors. $8.7 million plus has been traded on Polymarket. I'm assuming as of okay, so that's in total. That's just not $8.7 million just today's trading. That looks like that it's the total over on Polymarket right now. So if you're not familiar with Polymarket, you can go over there and you can bet on political affairs or current events. You can bet on literally anything. I don't know if there's really much of anything that they don't add on Polymarket. They put some of the most ridiculous betting things on here. So you can actually drop money and you could either vote for Eric Swalwell or Tom Steyer. In this case, among thousands of other things you can gamble, because that's what this is. It's gambling on Polymarket. So yeah, as of today, 14% Eric Swalwell, 51% Tom Steyer, as far as the California governor's race is going. And yeah, ain't looking too good. Follow the live odds and full list of candidates. You could go look at it for yourself. I don't endorse gambling in any way, shape, or form. I don't like gambling. But anyway, so let's go back and see what we got next, man. We got some other stuff from ALX. Alex, he's already lost support from multiple senators, organizations, and is losing staff. He is cooked. So we already got the Polymarket. Eric Daugherty, holy crap, even former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democratic California, just demanded Rep Eric Swalwell drop out of the California governor's race due to sexual assault allegations. Pelosi says the accuser should be able to have her case heard outside of a gubernatorial campaign. He's cooked. And let's see where this goes.
Eric Swalwell tried to silence these women, but they are courageous and brave, and they spoke up, and their
probably
stories
made them sign
are
NDAs
just
too.
Starting
Non-disclosures.
to be told. The San Francisco Chronicle just broke this story, and this is the first of many. And Swalwell's campaign is well aware of how many more women are coming forward, bravely speaking up about what he put them through. That's why multiple members of his team are resigning today. I am incredibly proud of every single one of these women. I am incredibly proud of every single one of these women who has gone through this
believe
process,
all women.
who has trusted me with their stories, who's connected to legal counsel, and who has moved forward and started this process of holding this man accountable. The difference between us and MAGA, those we point the finger at, is that we hold our own accountable. No more predators in power from either party, period. It's time to drop out, Eric Swalwell.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of time to drop out Eric Swalwell. So I'm gonna take a look and see if I could find. that hashtag believe all women over on Eric Swalwell's profile. Okay, well, I'm not having any luck. I'd searched for a couple of minutes and I'm not coming up with anything. Me too, hashtag believe all women, the phrase believe all women. I'm coming up empty-handed, so I don't know if he's scrubbing his profile. Now, I guess that's possible. That could definitely be doing that, or maybe I'm just not digging deep enough. But anyway, maybe I'll save that for tomorrow or something. All right, so let's roll on to the next from Sheriff Chad Bianco, and he's from Riverside, right? Yeah, so he's the 14th sheriff of Riverside County and the Republican candidate for California governor. And he says, I'm calling on Eric Swalwell to immediately rescind any NDA he has put anyone under. And you know he has. I'm sure every single staffer that's ever worked for him, or actually probably any staffer that works for any Democrats, and frankly, probably some, if not many, Republicans as well, they make them sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So that way, anything that happens behind closed doors, even if it could be construed as illegal, They just can't talk about it because they have an NDA. All right, so this comes from Mays. Hey, Swalwell, even Lion Adam Schiff is cutting you loose. And this is from Adam Schiff himself. I've read the San Francisco Chronicle's account, and I am deeply distressed by its allegations. I know I've already read this, but this woman was brave to come forward, and we should take her story seriously. I'm withdrawing my endorsement immediately and believe that he should withdraw from the race. And we're going to get to the San Francisco Chronicle's story. This was on... this was posted like around 2 o'clock. The post on the X platform was posted at 4:18 p.m., but the original article came out this afternoon at around 2 o'clock, and everybody's been going absolutely crazy over this article. I mean, definitely the biggest news story of the day, I would say, for damn sure. Liz Churchill, Eric Swalwell is a treasonous liar that melted down over President Trump memes, saving kittens and ducks from Haitians, is now facing allegations from an ex-staffer who says he assaulted her twice while drunk. Let's have a look at this.
What in the hell is this?
It's called a meme, dumbass.
Tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole.
Yeah, there were stories, and actually I think there were some instances where they were caught on camera. Haitians that were living in Ohio were caught snatching up ducks in city parks, and they were taking them with them to take home and allegedly cook for dinner. Not sure if there was any footage of the cats. I definitely, obviously, try to stay away from that because I kind of have a soft spot for kitties, in case you hadn't noticed. But yeah, this was like maybe a year ago at this point? Maybe? Something like that. It was a little while ago.
Aliens are eating pets? My God. Are you okay,
fucking drama
Mr.
queen.
Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted
it's better
Kanye
than
West
R-wording
as he was
women,
calling
dude.
for genocide against the Jews, and you kept
You
it up.
sexual assaulter,
and now, when
allegedly.
we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense. I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay.
And the Oscar goes to...
I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now, but Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have
You're not
loved
acting
ones
like it is.
who have been lost, and you tweeted this.
I mean, dude, you couldn't come up with anything else. Dude, you're sitting on a congressional committee. There was nothing else that you could have come up with except fucking memes? Really? It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that just goes to show how little to nothing that he had on whoever was sitting in the hot seat. All right, Mays, February 2026, alleged sexual predator Eric Swalwell on why he cares about the Epstein case so much. Ain't that funny? You don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about the women who were exploited in this case. I am a father.
You don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about the women who were exploited in this case. Everyone is sickened by it. I am a father of a little girl, and my promise to the victims is I will do everything along with my
at this
colleagues
point,
on the
that's
Democratic
disturbing.
side to seek justice in this case. You don't have to be...
Okay. All right. Whatever you say, Swalwell. And we got one more. 2018, Eric Swalwell says that Brett Kavanaugh shouldn't be on the Supreme Court because there were allegations of sexual assault against him. Swalwell also said that Kavanaugh deserved to be fully investigated by the FBI. So it stands to reason that Eric Swalwell should be perfectly fine with the FBI fully investigating him. Oh, no, not Trump's FBI, not Kash Patel's FBI, but his own logic. Swalwell should drop out of the California governor's race. Yeah, but of course it's rules for thee, not for me.
As someone who worked with sexual assault victims as a prosecutor, every victim comes forward or doesn't come forward at all in a different manner. She came forward, and once she did, the past is the past, and we should take her allegations seriously.
You can understand why the Republicans aren't trusting you guys, though, right?
Well, but I would also say this, and I've made this argument to many
Especially
juries, and you never want to be the defendant on the other side of it. What are the chances that this woman and two other women who have never met each other would come forward with similar allegations?
Okay. So you think he's lying?
I wouldn't hire him, but I would certainly look more into this.
I'm sorry, you wouldn't.
You didn't answer.
Hire
This is
him?
a job interview. Yeah, this is a job interview. They're advising and consenting, and they're essentially hiring or not hiring Judge Kavanaugh. I'm not determining whether he did this or not. I would just say with
Nor
this
am
type
I.
of
But do you think
corroboration,
it's fair
I would
that
hire him.
36 years after something happens that someone's entire career could potentially be destroyed because of some allegations which nobody has any proof of?
36 years ago.
I think the fairest thing for Judge Kavanaugh would be that he took the bench having his name cleared by a thorough FBI investigation. He deserves that.
Yeah, it's the same with that bullshit fucking dressing room nonsense against Trump that happened allegedly also 30 freaking years ago. I mean, you think that if something like that were to happen, you would, I don't know, call the police that day and not suddenly try to push to launch some investigation 3 decades later. And we got one more. Eric Swalwell says that any sexual assault accusation made against Brett Kavanaugh should be investigated by law enforcement. Swalwell, you agree that should apply to congressmen too, right? So here's just another instance.
The claims are serious. The witness yesterday was credible, and it is something that falls within the purview of what law enforcement can do and should do. And so I think they should let law enforcement do their job and not rely on 5-minute question and answer sessions with senators. Any woman that has come forward publicly with her name and her allegation should be investigated. We don't want to see a judge sent to the Supreme Court with asterisks or question marks around him.
Well, all right. And we'll roll on to the next from Laura Loomer. It's time for us to release this. The drunk audio will nuke Swalwell. And this is from Nick Sordor. Breaking exclusive. Eric Swalwell panics when I ask about his Chinese spy girlfriend, Fang Fang, and whether that's a bigger national security threat than Elon Musk. I sat next to a drunk Swalwell at dinner for 90 minutes. He was immediately compromised by a group of lobbyists he just met, spilling intimate details about his job and asking for help cheating on his wife. Massive national security threat. This guy should have his clearances revoked. Swalwell spent his dinner bragging about orgies on Capitol Hill, telling them he's bored of his wife and only wants to F10s. Worse, he spoke about abusing his power on the House Intel Committee, which he's since been booted off of, saying he pushed to subpoena Ivanka Trump because she's hot as F. This guy must be removed from the Homeland Security Committee. He cannot keep his freaking mouth shut. After I began questioning him, Swalwell jumped back into the group of lobbyists to hide from me, but I pressed on. Dude looked absolutely terrified and 100% guilty. He knows he's been caught. More to come later. I have about an hour and a half of audio to go through. And big shout out to Laura Loomer for assisting me with digging into this clown while I was focusing on listening in. So this was after that dinner. I don't know how the hell Nick Sordor got into this dinner and had dinner with him and some lobbyists, but according to him, he did. And after he confronted Eric Swalwell with who he was, Eric Swalwell promptly left the restaurant, and that's where this recording picks up. But apparently he's got audio that Laura Loomer is calling on Nick Sordor to release, which this whole interaction happened roughly a year ago. So let's give this a watch.
You referred to Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that?
What are you doing?
I mean, what's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. You know, they're buying you a bunch of booze, and that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to fuck people that are 10s. I just heard that one too.
Uh-oh.
So what do you think about that?
Allegedly said that during dinner.
Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy is not. Is that correct? You don't want to comment on that at all?
Obviously not.
Looks like guilty as charged.
Wow. Where is that recording, Nick Sordor? You got to drop that recording, man. If there was ever a time to do so, now would be the time. Frankly, probably last year would have been a perfect time to do so. I don't know why he sat on it for as long as he did. 34.4 million views. Holy crap. And this was way back on February 25th of 2025. So again, over a year ago. And yep, it's coming back up into the public eye again. And here's a follow-up from Laura Loomer, and so she's replying to Andy Fromell, who says, "Why have you waited a year? Swalwell should have been exposed immediately." And of course, they're replying to Laura Loomer, so she replied back to him and said, "Because the audio is on Nick's phone. I asked him to release it a year ago, and for whatever reason, Nick Sordor, he didn't release it. So at least not as of now." I didn't do too much digging into that, so I'm honestly not sure if Nick Sordor replied. Let me see. I think if he did, it would have been like right up here at the very top. Yeah, surely it would have been. So maybe he hasn't gotten back to this thread yet. Maybe he will. I just don't understand why he wouldn't wait longer. I don't know if maybe he had perhaps legal counsel look over it and maybe something crossed the line somewhere, or maybe Eric Swalwell said something that was, I don't know, in the realm of classified information. I have no idea. I don't know. But anyway, just speculating. And another one from Alex. With the number of staff resigning and top elected officials and organizations rescinding their endorsements, it's hard to see how Eric Swalwell doesn't drop out of the California governor's race. And that is the headline of the San Francisco Chronicle article today. Ex-staffer says Eric Swalwell, candidate for California governor, sexually assaulted her. Uh-oh. And we got this from Benny Johnson, the full article, so we can finally have a look at that. And I grabbed Benny Johnson's because the San Francisco Chronicle, I'm sure it's behind a paywall. Wouldn't surprise me at all, but it's on this website, archive.is. So we shared it on here, so that way I can have a chance to look at it and read it for you. All right, so let me zoom in a bit more. Let's see. All right, well, I'd prefer to zoom in more, but it gets cut off over on the right. So anyway, a woman who worked for nearly 2 years for Rep Eric Swalwell, a leading candidate for California governor, said she had sexual encounters with him while he was her boss and alleged he twice sexually assaulted her when she was too intoxicated to consent. Swalwell did not respond to any of the former staffer's specific allegations made in a series of interviews with the Chronicle and provided a statement Friday. And here's the statement, quote, "These allegations are false and come on the eve of an election against the frontrunner for governor." He wrote, "For nearly 20 years, I have served the public and as a prosecutor and congressman and have always protected women. I will defend myself with the facts and where necessary, bring legal action. My focus in the coming days is to be with my wife and children and defend our decades of service against these lies." I mean, dude, why are so many Democrats just sex pests, man? I just don't get it. I don't know. And look, I'm sure there's probably some Republicans who are probably in the same camp or quite similar, but whatever, just trying to be fair. All right, anyway, late Thursday, an attorney for Swalwell sent a cease and desist letter to the woman, of course he did, saying she had made false statements accusing Mr. Swalwell of sexual conduct and non-consensual sexual encounter and threatening to sue her if she did not retract her allegations. The woman said Swalwell began pursuing her within weeks after she was hired at age 21 to work in the Democrats' district office at Castro Valley in 2019. Swalwell messaged her on Snapchat, she said, sending images of his genitals and seeking nude pictures of her in return. Not sure if she took any screenshots. I've never used Snapchat before, but I would imagine you could hit the two buttons on the side of your phone and at least get a snapshot of your screen if that's what he was doing. So I don't know if she was even thinking about that back then, covering her own ass. I mean, look, if a congressman is sending you explicit stuff like that, I couldn't imagine why you wouldn't want to just keep that in your back pocket in case, who knows, in case God knows what happens. Plus, with Eric Swalwell drinking, apparently as often as he is, I'm sure that she's probably got some pretty spicy text messages too, but I guess only time will tell. She said Swalwell, who was married and 17 years her senior, tried to kiss her in the car when she drove him home from a donor meeting one night. Driving him to another event weeks later, she said Swalwell pulled out his pee in the car and asked her to perform oral sex on him. She said she did so in a parking lot. In September 2019, the woman said Swalwell invited her out for drinks and she became so severely intoxicated that she does not remember the rest of the night. She said she woke up naked in Swalwell's hotel bed and could feel the effect of intercourse. She said Swalwell distanced himself from her afterward and the relationship faded. 5 years later, the woman said she attended an April 2024 charity gala where Swalwell was honored. The woman, who no longer worked for Swalwell, said they met for drinks afterward, during which she became so inebriated that she only remembers snippets of the night, including pushing Swalwell away and telling him no, while he allegedly forced himself on her. The woman texted a friend 3 days later and said she was assaulted by Swalwell. She wrote in a series of messages reviewed by the Chronicle and said that she had blacked out but woke up once during it and even told him to stop at one point. This happened one other time when I was working with him, but I convinced myself I was an equal party in it, even though the same pattern. I blacked out and he had sex with me, she wrote, referring to the 2019 incident. The Chronicle spoke with a friend and the woman's then boyfriend, whom she said she told about the alleged 2024 assault when she got home the next day. Both described her as still disoriented that morning, and her then boyfriend said he encouraged her to report Swalwell to the police. He probably roofied her. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know if she was keeping an eye on her drinks all night. I mean, that's what women are supposed to do when they're going out with, I guess, even colleagues, people you work with. I don't know. I guess you can never really fully trust anyone. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe he put, what is it, GHB? I think that's what it is, GHB. Maybe that was put into her drink. I guess there's no way of proving that. So I guess that's all going to be opinion, speculation, maybe. All right, anyway, so the woman said she did not go to the authorities because she was afraid they would not believe her. Medical records show she obtained pregnancy and STD tests a week after the incident. Well, that's suspicious, against Swalwell. The Chronicle shared a detailed summary of the woman's account with Swalwell's campaign on Thursday. You know what? To be honest, I'm surprised that the San Francisco Chronicle didn't just take all this information and just bury it. I'm surprised they even released this, to be honest with you. Because I would have expected that the mainstream news over in California would have just viewed Eric Swalwell as just their golden child, just the absolute, the most amazing person who could ever run the state of California. All right, Swalwell's attorney, Elias Debay, wrote in the cease and desist letter that the woman had exhibited the conduct of a loyal and supportive colleague, not a victim, and that the credibility of your accusations is fatally undermined by your voluntary and cooperative relationship with Mr. Swalwell over the course of many years following the period in question. The letter mentioned the woman's use of Swalwell as a professional reference in her account outreach to the Swalwell campaign about social media posts alleging his misconduct. Well, probably because everybody she knew and probably everybody she spoke with, she probably told them that she worked for Eric Swalwell. I work for the congressman. Anyway, an attorney representing the woman, Gerald Singleton, responded to Debay on Friday, writing that her statements are 100% factually accurate and she will not be withdrawing them. In recent weeks, political influencers and other social media accounts have alleged sexual misconduct by Swalwell. The online posts have not included any specific evidence, but gained enough attention that Swalwell issued a public denial, saying he had never behaved inappropriately toward nor slept with female staffers during his 7 terms in Congress. Yeah, you notice how he specifically just said staffers. He didn't mention, I don't know, Chinese spies or other maybe ladies of the evening or escort services and so on. No, it's false, Swalwell told reporters after a town hall in Sacramento on Tuesday evening, characterizing the posts on social media as political attacks, less than a month before people began voting in the primary election, in which the top 2 candidates will advance to November's general election. Well, dude, why would they do that then? Are they Republican voters? Did they vote for Donald Trump? What reason would they have to just start attacking you all of a sudden? Even though this did happen in 2024, so it's always frustrating when they just wait a year or even months or weeks or decades before they release these allegations. But they did, and I'm sure that it's within the statute of limitations. So here we are. On Thursday, Swalwell canceled a previously scheduled event in Palm Desert. Local news outlet KESQ reported that the event was canceled due to illness. Yeah, okay, sure it was. The Chronicle is not identifying the woman in the story in compliance with its policy against naming alleged victims of sexual assault. Reporters looking into the broader allegations against Swalwell reached her while contacting dozens of his former staffers. Wow, man, they're reaching out to everybody. The woman said she largely kept quiet about Swalwell's behavior for years out of fear she would suffer personal and professional consequences. He was the foundation of my career. I had nothing to fall back on or anyone to vouch for my skills outside of my colleagues in that office and Eric himself, she told the Chronicle. I knew if I came forward, he would define me and undermine my credibility. And the woman began speaking with a Chronicle reporter last month as she considered whether to make her allegations public. When rumors about Swalwell's conduct began circulating online, the woman said she was confused because she had told only a small circle of family and close friends about what had happened to her. She said she was petrified that Swalwell had told people about their encounters or that her name had appeared in an opposition research file compiled by a rival campaign. She said she called the Swalwell campaign in late March to find out whether her name had surfaced among rumored victims. A staffer on the campaign, she said, asked her to vouch for Swalwell. She said the staffer asked her whether Swalwell had ever been inappropriate with her And then, when she hesitated to answer, said, actually, I don't want to know. When the campaign staffer told her that Swalwell was not afraid of the rumors because he had not done anything inappropriate, the woman said she felt determined to speak out. He was so confident that I would stay silent that he wasn't even scared, she said of Swalwell. I have no skin in the game of who becomes governor of California, but I feel people have a right to know whether the person who leads a state that is a safe haven for so many women actually treats women with dignity and will protect their rights, she said. No one protected me from him. And so I have to protect the other young women like me who aspire to work in this field, and he could prey upon. Yeah, but look, dude, you should have come forward immediately, because how many female staffers have worked with Eric Swalwell since you left, or since this incident in 2024? He could have done this to several other women, and they might be currently too petrified to speak out. Him making them sign NDAs and saying things like, if you say one word about this document will absolutely bury you. You'll never see the light of day anymore. I mean, who knows? This is all my own personal opinions. I mean, like, none of that was said anywhere as far as I know. But anyway, recent polling shows Swalwell neck and neck with former Rep Katie Porter and billionaire Tom Steyer, the other top Democrats in the race, and the two Republicans, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco and former Fox News host Steve Hilton. Swalwell has won endorsements from 24 other members of Congress, including Adam Schiff, Ruben Gallego. 14 members of the state legislature publicly support him. A host of powerful labor unions, including SEIU California and the California Teachers Association, have also backed his candidacy. I would only imagine that they're all going to withdraw their endorsements too. Swalwell's popularity comes in part of his prominent role in the impeachment investigations against Trump. Yeah, we get it. So, all right. You know what? I'll just leave it there. I think we probably got most of the most important stuff out, and I would imagine a lot of this other article is just digging into the past, going in throughout the history of Eric Swalwell, probably Fang material, and the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing. But anyway, I'll have that link below in the description if you want to read the rest of that San Francisco Chronicle article. And I'll link this one from archive.is because it's there. And again, the San Francisco Chronicle, I'm assuming it's a paywall, which is probably why Benny Johnson decided to link that and not directly from the Chronicle itself. All right, so I'm going to move on from Eric Swalwell as well. Crazy-ass story to come out today. Absolute banger.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.